I'll tell you what, I'm so tired right now, and I'm working so much, and I just can't keep myself straight here. I'm checking to make sure that I recorded because I just did this video, and of course I forgot, or I didn't do things in the proper sequence, and I shut off my recording almost immediately, so I lost everything. Um, this is Poor Iron Bill back again with another video. It's Brood Hold, it's a strike, and it's I wound up with only one person in here, but this was a pretty solid player. We had done actually quite a few strikes together today, as it turned out. I was working on quests to get my fragments, and in the process of doing that, I did a ton of strikes, just strikes over and over and over. And I also did some nightfalls as well, solo on Legend. Don't get excited, I didn't finish them. What I was doing is I was completing the champions portion of the Umbral quests for a fragment, and it's easier to get champions if you melee them, because that counts as the stasis damage, so long as you don't have, I think, 2 or 3 particular finishers selected. If you go with the basic finisher, it'll count as a stasis kill. That's a little bit of a side from what this particular video is showing, but just a quick tip for you there. If you want to get that one done and collect the appropriate fragment that goes with it, that's probably the easiest way, because the Nightfall this week, you have a ton of champions in the front end that are fairly easy to get to. If you take your time, you can actually clear out the ads, and you can single out champions, and you can bring them to you. And honestly, in the Darkness Zone, there's one in particular that's fairly easy to get to. Kill it, let yourself get killed, come back in and kill them again, and it counts. And you know, in 15-20 minutes, you ought to be able to get all 10 of your champions done inside of a Legend Nightfall solo. That's what I would tell you, and that's what I did. So just a piece of advice there. Anyway, we are doing a strike, and Super Cat is 72 is the other player here. We came down to the planet with 3. Only 2 of us arrived or stayed, however it works, and there was never another player added to it. So we played it out, and it was cool because he was cool. I'm assuming it was a he. I shouldn't. I guess he, she was cool. And he, she took the other side. I took this side. And you know what? I never once thought about whether or not the other player was surviving. Just figured, hey, and I'm just going to say he, just for the sake of moving this along. He seemed to know what he was doing, and I just trusted him. And I let him worry about his half of the map. He let me worry about mine, and things worked out. Didn't feel like, you know, sometimes you'll play with a player that just seems to be kind of crowding you, you know, or rushing ahead and dragging you through. But we just seem to be kind of on the same page here, and that was a nice thing. Now, I want to talk about weapons. It's what I really talked about last video, so I want to make sure I get to that. As you see, I'm running a Warmind cell build, and I've been doing that for a while simply because, as a solo player, it's one of the most effective ways that you can actually play solo on the higher level content. I mean, it's like an extra player when you pop that cell and you know, basically clear out a zone quite large. I'm on the Seventh Seraph Carbine right now, which I'd ignored. I really didn't like it very much when I first got it, but I'd forgotten something. I was a controller player when I first got it, and the stability on this gun leaves a lot to be desired. The stability on this gun is in the order of the one I'm using right now, 46. That's not great. Recoil direction is vertical though, and that is good. But man, that thing just seemed to bounce so bad. But I'm a mouse and keyboard player at this point in time, and their stability is a complete non-issue. And even from that range, you can see I was popping yellow numbers. And the deal is, the way I'm set up, every 3 to 4 kills with this gun, I'm going to get a Warmind cell. Pair this with an Ikelos SMG, And I'm just creating Warmind cells no matter what I'm doing. Throw a Xenophage on top of that, everything pops war cells. Very powerful build. But that's not really quite entirely what I was doing here. Last night in the raid, I managed to pick up, and that's right, I did raid last night for the first time. Picked up 3 different guns. I got the 3 of the snipers. And if you don't know what the sniper is called, that is the Succession, I believe. The one I was running mostly today had Osmosis, Sideways, Steady Rounds, Corkscrew Rifling, which really isn't a great roll. I have a better roll. I have one that is at, hang on a second here, Thresh, No Distractions, Tactical Mag, and Chambered Compensator. The Thresh is an interesting thing to throw on. Then I have one with Vorpal, Lead from Gold, Tactical, and Arrowhead. They all have something, they all miss something. But I stuck with this one because it was the highest powered one. And I was just trying to keep my light up so that any pinnacles or weapons or engrams I got today would drop at the highest possible level, because I am still trying to rank up. Okay, the other thing I got was the Scout Rifle, and that is called the, hang on a second, Trustee. Mine came with opening shot, surplus, accurized rounds, and corkscrew rifling. And then, of course, I've got the heavy machine gun, or the LMG, called the Commemoration. Mine has Dragonfly. That's kind of like kill clip. No, shank burn on a rocket launcher. I mean, that's actually a real thing from Destiny 1. Zen Moment, Alloy Magazine, and Chambered Compensator. I like it. Maybe not the best LMG I've ever had, but it's void and reminds me a lot of the Hammerhead. And I think that's how it's really kind of compared. My roll's not as good as my Hammerhead roll, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. And I don't know how many opportunities I'll get to raid this time around. Hopefully on Christmas break, when I get a couple weeks off, I might get a raid or 2 in, but you just never know. So I'll take what I get. Anyway, I wanted to try them out, so I took them for a spin. And I really like the sniper rifle a lot. The Scout is really solid too. It's the thing that sets it apart is it is a 260. So we're talking about something in the neighborhood of a Randy's throwing knife or something like that. Yeah, we're still recording, 8.5 minutes in. So, you see here we're moving through this strike quite quickly, and I can't remember what I was doing at this particular time. I think I was trying to get melee or grenade kills for a quest, because that's why I was doing this stuff all day long, is I was trying to get my quest stuff done. And I did manage, by the way, to buy 5 of I think 8 fragments. You can equip 4, or I can equip 4. I don't know if there's a way to do more, but I've got 4 of them equipped right now, so that's pretty good on my Warlock. But I gotta say, quest-wise, kind of grindy. I don't know how much I want to go through my other 2 characters and do the same thing, because, man, I ran a lot of strikes today. I mean, a lot. One of the things that I finished to get a fragment was that the one that you have to kill 10 champions with Stasis. Yeah, about that. Bungie, let's not have a whole lot of that. That's not a lot of fun. What I wound up doing, and you can do this any way you want to, if you do normal Nightfalls, you know, you're going to want to do Hero anyway, so you get more champions. But the problem is you're going to be fighting people who are doing the same thing, so I went up to Legend. And the reason I did that was because Legend does not have matchmaking. And so by removing matchmaking, I knew I didn't have to fight over the champions. And then what you want to do, you don't want to try to kill it with Stasis, your champion. There actually is an easier way. you just try to do melee kill instead. The only catch to that is you want to reset your melee to the stock melee, the default one, and don't do the fancy ones, because any of them that involve elements will not count. This week's Nightfall is a good one to do it on because it spawns a lot of champions near the front. Just take your time, and if you're doing this solo, and clear out the ads a bit, give yourself some space, and you can draw the champions to you pretty much, and move on to the next area. You'll eventually come to a darkness zone, and one of the champions there is fairly easy to get to, and kill it, let yourself get killed, kill them again, and inside of 15-20 minutes you probably ought to be able to get all 10 of the champions killed that you need. I think you can get 4 or 5 out of that first area alone, and I think there's like 1 or 2 along the path to the darkness zone. So really, if you play it right, 15-20 minutes. I mean, if you're a good player, and I'm not, it took me longer, but I recognize that I'm not a great player, and that there will be others who can do it a lot faster. And yeah. All right, so I still didn't trust Super Cat entirely. As you saw there, I came around the front side first and then wrapped around, because if you play strikes enough, you know when you come to this one, people seem to get a kick out of leaving you behind so that you get stuck underneath. So if you're in the other room, they'll hit the crystal, and if you don't get back in time, you're off the platform. Usually there are a lot of ads down there that spawn and kind of leaves you in a spot, and yeah. Not that you can't get out of it, but I figure why give the other guy that kind of a laugh. So I don't know. I wrapped front first, then came around the back side. And, you know, he hadn't done anything to make me think that he might do that. So I don't know. I was being a little silly, maybe. Alright, this is the Trustee. It is solar. They are solar, and it took them right down. Alright, so Commemoration. It's void.
Here she comes.
But it is a heavy. It doesn't look like Hammerhead, but it plays a lot like it. Alright, I'm trying to pop some Warmind cells here. There's one. I just can't get to it. It fell behind the rock. So I move up. It does help. Trustee finishes it off. Now my teammate has popped his super. That's worth noting. So I've got the next super. We're going to crack it down here a little bit. You got to watch here, because even before she shields up, you're going to have ogres. And I just wanted to make sure that I didn't get caught. There are only 2 of us after all. Now we're getting ammo here, so I feel pretty good about going ahead and burning it out. And here comes the super. And I'm just trying to defend him a bit. Take down the things that are the immediate threat. Use the heavy machine gun. And this should be pretty much the end. Yeah, I think he went up with the sword. Alright, that's pretty much it. And as random players go, Super Cat, you are top notch. And thanks a lot for the games. If by chance you see this, had a good time. But with that, that's pretty much all I've got to talk about tonight. And really enjoying the new weapons. Revisiting the Seventh Seraph weapons actually has been a cool thing. So I highly recommend them, especially if you're playing mouse and keyboard. So with that, this is Iron Bill. I'm signing off.